Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Israel Update. There's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot centered on Israel. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of angst and turmoil. And in just a couple of moments, we're going to go to Dubi from the streets of Jerusalem to talk about everything happening right now regarding America, regarding these deals that are happening, the Arab world, etc. But before we do that, every week we're talking about something intense, but sometimes a little bit of humor can actually explain things in a way that can benefit us and also just does a really good job of explaining the absurdity of situations. So I'm going to play you a clip now of a comedian that I found, and I really enjoyed his sarcasm, and I really enjoyed what he's really talking about is how tiny Israel is in comparison to everyone else, and yet the Jews are blamed for everything. So we're going to play this clip. I really just want you to look at it, take it for what it is, but it's just a little bit of irony, a little bit of sarcasm to explain the absurdity of the anti-Semitism that we're seeing and facing and just the chaos of what we're seeing around the world. So let's go and watch this guy now.
I hate Israelis. You guys are colonizers. You guys are occupiers. I thought, listen, ma'am, I don't know you. You don't want to go down this road. So like, why? Because you're really stupid.
How dare you call me stupid? Why do you think I'm stupid? I said, why do I think you're stupid? You called me colonizer and you're British.
A little bit of self-awareness. Because you never opened the map. No one can call me a colonizer if he saw my country on the map. That's enough to understand how dumb you are. You need to zoom in 17 times just to see the country. And then 17 more times just to see the name of the country that, by the way, don't fit in the country. We are the only country in the world that we don't have enough country for the name of the country. It starts in the sea and ends in the river. We are the only country that we don't. And we surround the 57 Muslim countries, not included Europe. We are colonizers. We are colonizers. 57 Muslim countries. No one called them colonizers. You have named the name. You have a lot of places. Egypt, Syria, Saudi Arabia. Why? Because of the sand. They can put Saudi Arabia. Even though we know what Saudi Arabia, what could it be? Saudi Arabia? In 5 years. But now...
Again, I found this guy really funny because he managed to sum up so much of what's happening and make it funny, which I really enjoyed. He's talking about the absurdity and lack of self-awareness of calling Israelis colonizers when it's this tiny little country that would fit into Texas 444 times. It's absolutely minute. Throwing in from the river to the sea, that's the chant that the Palestinian sympathizers do, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which is basically saying we want to kill all the Jews in Israel because Israel, the land, proportions are pretty much between a river and a sea. Him speaking about the surrounding of 57 Muslim nations and just the absurdity of how tiny Israel is, that you actually really do have to zoom in that much and you actually can't even fit the name Israel into the tiny proportion of country that they've been given. And I just thought, this is incredible awareness. And it just also shows the resilience of the Israelis. They will laugh about things like this and they will just carry on because people have been trying to take them out for thousands of years. And they're incredibly resilient, and that's because God made them that way. And so we're going to go to a report from Dubi now. I hope that at least gave you a little bit of lightheartedness amidst the chaos of everything that we're facing. But here at the House of Destiny, we will never, ever stop supporting Israel. We will always say Israel is forever. We will always ask ourselves, where would Kim be? What would Kim do? And the answer is he would be prophesying about Israel if he was here, and he would be boots on the ground in Israel. And so our hearts continue to stand with Israel no matter what. And speaking of, we're now going to go to Dubi from Jerusalem.
Shalom, shalom warriors and Israel partners, and welcome to the city center of Jerusalem. And today from the heart of Jerusalem, I want to speak first and foremost about the negotiations that are taking place in Switzerland right now over the head of Israel. The Americans, the Iranians, the Qataris, the Pakistanians, all these countries, Turkey, Egypt, everyone is involved but Israel. And why? Because the idea is for all these Muslim world to force an agreement over Israel while they have the ear of the Vice President and the President of the United States, while Israel is not really represented over there. And this is a very tough situation for us. I just don't know how it happened, what was going on, what happened between Israel and the US. We were working together in such an amazing coordination in the beginning of the war against Iran, in a huge partnership, fighting shoulder to shoulder. And now Israel is pushed under the bus. This situation cannot continue. They are negotiating about what's happening in Lebanon, trying to force Israel to cease fire, while the Hezbollah is still targeting and hitting Israeli towns, settlements, and Israeli soldiers. They want to force us to retreat more and more from the area of the Gaza envelope, while the Hamas never disarmed yet, and they're still trying to hit us and target us. All these things are happening over our heads. The situation between the President Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu never been so worrying to the Israeli people. There's a drifting in the support for Israel in the US, and all these things are happening while we are here in Israel trying to find a peaceful solution with our enemies surrounding us, even willing to handle some parts of Lebanon that we've been holding recently just to bring more security and safety and stability to the northern towns of Israel, willing to handle this even to the military of Lebanon, the Lebanese army, and we're looking into a pilot to do with them right now. But it doesn't seem like they're rushing into that because they know that Hezbollah will target them as well. Israel needs to take care of the situation in the northern part. We need to make sure that Hezbollah is unable to keep on shooting and fighting against us. And I'm talking with you about all these things because I want us all together to pray for these negotiations to be successful, but yet to be sure that all the Iranian plans and programs for the nuclear weapons should be dismantled, to be sure that their missile project is going to be affected badly by the negotiations, to make sure that they will not be able to launch more rockets and missiles into Israel. And I'm hearing more and more about money going back into Iran, about opening the Strait of Hormuz, and they will be charging a toll from everyone who wants to pass by. There's all kinds of talks and situations that are actually putting the last war between Israel and Iran in a very dire place, in a place as if we lost that war, and this is no good nor for America and not for Israel. So therefore, I want us all to pray for these talks, for these negotiations to be successful, because otherwise I know for sure that we will be back at war with Iran, and this time probably nobody is going to fold back. At the same time that they are talking over our heads, I would like to encourage all of you to look around you, to come here to look around me, to see that people are living their lives and going about in Israel. I would like to invite you to come and visit Israel, to tour this country. If you want to pray, it's the best place to pray from the soil and the land that God called this the apple of his eye. So don't be afraid and don't be worried about the war situation, because everything here is really calm, and we know for sure that you coming, standing together with us on this soil will mean victory as opposed to defeat. That's all the enemy is trying to do, is push you away from here, is to make sure that nobody will visit the land of the forefathers, the land of God. They don't want to go against the people of God alone. They want to go against God himself, because that's the target of the Islam. They want to show God that everyone is afraid to go to his home, to his address, to his city, Jerusalem. We have to show them that we are not afraid. I want you all to register for any trip to come and visit Israel in such a time like this, because that's the best time to show resilience, strength, and victory. I love you a lot. I encourage you to join us. Bye for now.
Here we are in Kiev, Ukraine, and really, I must tell you, you can sense loss, you can sense grieving, you can sense discord, division, insecurity.
Then I look at a man who has set himself up as a Tsar, Putin.
When Russian President Vladimir Putin launched an invasion of Ukraine in 2022, he expected it to be over quickly. 4 years later, the brutal and grinding war with Ukraine reached a new milestone. It has now gone on longer than World War I.
And they shall say, but they the troublemakers, and I will take a little childlike nation to bring to its knees Russia.
According to the Department of War, it is one of the first conflicts ever in which the death rate is higher than the casualty rate on the Russian side. It's the first time ever that you have more deaths than casualties. So you're right, not only are the Ukrainians bravely fighting, they're effectively fighting.
But I had a dream about Putin. While you're giving, just listen to this. I saw a spider's web. It's not gonna take a mighty army to bring him down. It's not gonna take weapons of warfare to bring him down. For God said to me, his web is no match for a servant's broom.
It's often said that Russia's playing chess, not checkers. It'd be far too premature to write off Putin, and he's made it clear he's determined to see this war through. But the pressure on Russia is now real and growing.
Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.